Welcome back to episode 222 of the Guide and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guide guns and responsible Christian gun owners' interests. In this show, we'll be discussing Christmases past.
Christmas is past.
I hear
Whoa,
myself.
hold on.
You didn't mute.
I had that muted. Was it not? Now it's muted. Now you're good.
Good deal. Let's see. I've got a new thing running over here on the side. It's called, what is it called? Some kind of a live something.
I love
It's
something.
on YouTube. You're supposed to be able to like control everything going on in the background and plug videos in and all that stuff. I never saw that button before, so I opened it up. So I don't know what might happen over there, but we want to thank our Bama sponsor, the Farms Radio Network. Thank you guys for sponsoring and keeping us on the air and all of our past episodes. Had a guy text us, not text, a guy emailed us this week and said, "Hey, how did I get all your previous episodes?" I guess it was on Twitter. Yeah, he's on Twitter, and he said, "What's God and Guns about?" I said, "God and Guns," and he said, "Oh, okay." Yes. Then he listened to one of the shows. He said, "Hey, can I go back and listen to the earlier episodes?" I said, "Yeah, go to the website. It's there." I said, "It's probably still most of the episodes are still on iTunes because it's being hosted by the Farmers Radio Network." So he found them and was happy. And so that's all I got to say about that.
I hear you.
And also,
Crossbreed holsters. If you're carrying a gun on your person or in your vehicle or got one next to your bed, you should be carrying a crossbreed. Check them out. Crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross.
I'm carrying the cross, buddy.
I was carrying the cross earlier today. I am not carrying it right now because I have a different gun in here to play with for a moment.
Crossbreed. Super Tuck.
I texted
Oh, hi. Okay.
I texted Murray, told him I needed a new holster.
I need. He told me he had some kind of a super belt he wanted me to try out, and they sent me a really nice dress belt, but I don't think that's what he was talking about. So we talked to the Gideon pocket holster for your mag carrier. I got others right here somewhere. What I'm wearing. All right, so this week's guiding gun activities. Doug, what you been up to?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's been a week. I've been in Arkansas for the last 11 days. Got home Sunday night, Monday morning, really, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and had a good trip. Bunch of neat guys. The birds just were not cooperating with us at all this trip, so needs to get cold. Needs to get a lot colder up north, and then that'll push the birds on down. But we had a good time. But I tell you what, hit the jackpot the other day,
I
and
heard.
I won a new gun.
I saw. Let's see it.
There she is. It's unloaded. It's the Judge Public Defender Poly. So pretty neat. Only thing I don't like about it, um, they could have made it. They could have made the grip just a little bit longer. I like the grip. I like the way the feel of it. But if you notice, I can only get two fingers on there, and my pinky it's just like under the bottom of it. So shooting a 410 shotgun shell out of that thing, I think maybe a little bit of a handful since it's a polymer gun.
You should be shooting birdshot though.
Yeah, but I got some fun stuff to shoot. So one, I got the. Is that showing backwards to you? No, that's right.
That's right.
The Critical Defense 45 long Colt, and I bought a box of those today. They're 185 grain, and I got these little bad. There's that one. That's the 45 long Colt. So
Yep.
pretty good size little round. And then I got these bad boys. It's a 410 shotgun shell. It's a Winchester, the PDX 1 in 410. It's got 3 discs on it, and it's backed up with pellets behind it.
Hmm.
So I think it's going to cause quite a mess.
Depends how close you are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with
That little
a
short barrel, it's not gonna be packing a whole lot of speed.
no, it's not got a lot of speed on it. But if you're standing next to the vehicle, you will probably get away from the vehicle quite quickly if you pull the trigger on it. But hey, for a $25 investment, I figured I couldn't go wrong with that.
No, that's a. You said I want to win that gun, and next thing I know, I won that gun.
I know, dude. I was like a kid in a candy store because we had just got back from out in, out in the duck blind, and Facebook messages are popping up, text messages are popping up that I missed while I was out there because I got zero service in the duck hole,
Mhm.
which is a good thing. I like that. Um, but um, we got back to the hotel and all this stuff starts popping up, and it said Signal 10 was live. I was like, oh, he must have done the drawing. So I had told him the other day I wanted to do it because I wanted one because this is going to be my new snake charming device.
That's right.
Snakes, watch out, buddy, because I'm coming after you now. Only thing is that short barrel, I'm going to get fairly close to kill them, aren't I?
I don't know. Use birdshot. Should be enough of it.
Yeah. We're going to find out because I'm going to kill everyone I see.
Let's see.
But
You could probably use like a rabbit load.
yeah,
About six, 5 or 6.
5 or 6 should make quite the mess.
Yeah.
But on snakes, probably a good 7.5 would probably work.
Down in Georgia, you get some of them big old nasty snakes.
What's that?
Down in Georgia, you get those big old nasty
Right.
rattlesnakes and
Then I'll
stuff.
shoot those with that PDX round.
The
And
copperheads, you can take them out all day with birdshot. I don't know about the rattlesnakes. They might be a little tougher.
you know what? We're going to find out. I'm going to start notching it across the top every time I kill one. See how many I can get on it. So that's a new snake tamer, buddy. I'm going to use that thing. And I've had all kind of people trying to buy it from me already. Like, oh man, you want to sell that? You don't need that gun. I'm like, man, I may get some steel shot 410 and shoot ducks with it. Shoot cripples on the water. Hey, you never know. So
They're going to have to be close to that.
yeah, they'd have to be close. Have you ever seen the trick shot that Plinkster did with the judge?
Uh-uh.
So he's got it set up, and he's got a clay thrower set up with a steel plate on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
That when he hits the steel plate, it knocks it over and pulls the string, throws the pigeon. So he's standing out there. He shoots it with a 45 long Colt on the plate, and it throws the pigeon. He's got a 410 shotgun shell behind it, and the pigeon's coming at him, and he raises up and shoots it out of the sky. It's a pretty neat trick.
Oh, yeah.
So I may have to try that one myself, but it was pretty neat. But I can't wait to shoot it. My grip should be here tomorrow, I hope, and I'm going to put a new Hogue grip on it so to extend it out. The guy that I got it from, he had one exactly like it and had the same grip on there,
Yeah.
and he was letting me check his out, and I liked it. It's quite nice. So they also make those 410 shells in slugs and double aught buckshot. So
How many double up buck do you get in a 410?
I don't know. There's what 5 or 6 in there.
Oh, there's 9 in a 12 gauge, so
Maybe 5, 4 or 5.
maybe 3.
Nah, it's probably more than 3, isn't it?
I
I don't know.
don't know. I wouldn't think there'd be very many in there. Let's see. It's a long tube. It might 3-inch shell. You might get 4 in there.
Well, the only thing bad about these, you can't shoot the 3-inch shell. It's only the 2.5-inch. So
Oh, I bet you it's 3.
it may be 3, but hey, it'd be the size of what? Maybe a 32 round.
Be a 410, so it'd be a 10 millimeter round. Be a little bit over 10 millimeter.
Mm-hmm. So you got 3 of those coming at you at one time. That wouldn't be horribly
It'd
bad.
probably be a 40 caliber, a 10 millimeter, 40 caliber size.
Well, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to shoot some snakes with it, even though I don't want to see them. I'm gonna be ready for him just in case I do. So when I got back out of the duck hole, man, I saw he was live and he's rattling off the names and stuff, and it was funny because he's like, well, number one is so and so, number two is so and so. He said number nine is Doug McDowell. He said Doug's out in Arkansas shooting greenheads in the face this week, so he's probably not even watching, and I wasn't. And he said Doug told me when I was talking to him, he never wins anything, so maybe tonight's his night. And his little boy pulled that number out and pulled number nine, which is what I was. And man, I was bouncing around in a hotel room like Rocky, man, like I just won, a title fight. I was like, heck yes. And so he puts on there. He said, "Well, he's out in Arkansas." He said, "I'm not even sure if I can get a hold of him." He said, "It's after 5 o'clock or something." He said, "He's probably already in bed asleep, so he probably hadn't even seen this." I'm messaging him right back. I'm like, "Oh, I just saw it, buddy. Go ahead and order it." But I did like I had my choice of OD Green
Uh-huh.
or the what is it? It's like a cyan brown or something, and black, or a straight up all black polymer. But I kind of like the OD green one. It's kind of unique. I've tried to find them, pictures of them online and stuff. I can find the brown one and I can find the black one, but you can't really find any pictures of the OD green one. I said, well, give me that one, man. So we'll try that. So I'm ready to shoot it, man. Justin, I need a holster. I'm gonna see if I get Justin get me a. I think I'm gonna get a drop slide for it. I'm not gonna carry it concealed carry. Um, it's gonna be a straight. Let's go to the woods or on the
You get
nightstand for
chest
shooting in the house.
bandolero thing for it.
Huh?
Cross, you get chest cross rig for it,
Yeah,
like the Alaskan guy type holsters.
yeah, like a 454 Casull or something.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. I'd like that. Let's see. That's about it for me, man.
that's it.
Yeah, I was stoked because I won a gun. I never win nothing, so
We'll talk about ducks a little later.
we can.
Uh, I'm trying to keep from coughing your all's ears. I'm sorry. Church security. I did that last 2 weeks and Wednesday in between. We had mission team meeting this last Sunday. On the God side, I read a book called "The Complete Armor of God" by Pastor George McVeigh. I'd read his prayer walking book recently too. I have not been prayer walking because it has been cold and nasty, and then I had lots of distractions. Um, I don't know how I can have as many distractions from what I'm trying to do or want to do as I have, but it seems like all my time is eat up by other people's needs. But I guess that's what I'm here for.
Hey, change
So,
your focus on the camera. You got me. You
focus,
got me
focus.
paying
Oh,
constants.
it's locked on you. Okay,
It is. I'm not
that's
doing
not
anything
bad then.
interesting.
You're much more pretty than I am. All right, so I read the book "Complete Armor" of God by Pastor George McVeigh. I'd read, like I told you guys, I think it was last time when we had a show, week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Um, then I'd read his prayer walking book, and I was going to start prayer walking, but I haven't, just because of stuff. But still on my to do list, still top of my to do list. So I'm I'm wanting to get on that. I also started reading Angel of the Abyss by Mark Goodwin. He's the Christian post-apocalyptic um, writer. We've had him on the show before. Probably need to have Mark back on. Yeah, he's wrote a ton of books since the last time he was on here. And then I'm also reading Spygate by Dan Bongino,
Uh huh.
former Secret Service guy and military and police officer. It's really interesting. It's a whole lot like the another book I'd read about how they were setting up Trump. Um, I mentioned back in the summer. Um, on the gun side, I really didn't do any shooting. I did get I did get out my Axelson tactical rifle with the
Oh yeah.
night vision scope and got it zeroed in. Um, and I've got a much stronger illuminator, IR illuminator,
Huh?
because the one that comes with that night scope I've got doesn't reach for like 60 yards. And so I went back and I found one that's supposed to show out to about 250 yards on a clear night. And I got it mounted, but I haven't got it out at night yet. I got the scope zeroed for daytime. So we have had a plethora of coyotes around the farm here recently. They've been killing my son's chickens and chasing my neighbor's dogs around and dog around. And I was at the not last night before last, I was on the back porch and had a perdomo going, and they came in the backyard. And I jumped up with my pistol, but they were at the far range of my reach, and I couldn't get them. They were on the move, and they moved around to the side of the house, or if I'd shot that direction, it could have bounced into my neighbor's house. So I went in the house, got my rifle back out, and sat back out on the porch with it. But they never gave me an opportunity because once I jumped up to try to hit a few, they scattered pretty quick. But there was about that's just by sound, I would say at least 12, which is a bunch. Usually you only see like 4 to 5 in a pack at best. There was like 12, and they split up into two groups. One went to the east of my house, and one went off to the northwest of my house. Both directions I couldn't shoot and couldn't see them anyway. It's too dark. And I didn't have my rifle zeroed to shoot them in the dark. So I'm ready tonight. So we'll see. So I bulldozed out and a bunch of brush and trees last week while you were duck hunting. I was running the dozer. It was dry enough finally to get the dozer down the bottom and push out some trees that had fallen in the fall. And I got a bunch of little trees pushed out, and the fence guy is waiting on the utility company to mark the lines before he gets started running fence, so he won't put any holes in any power lines or water lines or things like that. So hopefully that'll be done soon. I wanted to start working on my range, but it has rained the last 2 days, and so it's all real muddy again. And I don't want to take that dozer down off over that hill. Uh, Sliding down into that creek would be a that would be any fun.
Man, it
Other
rained.
that's
It
that
rained on us in Arkansas just about the entire week. I had my truck was in 4 wheel drive more than it was not in 4 wheel drive.
for mud.
Oh my goodness, it was horrible. It was. I mean, there was so much mud, and it Arkansas has nasty mud, dude. It ain't like regular mud. I mean, it's. I had mud on. I went down this one road that is a county road,
Mm-hmm.
and it was completely mud. It was a shortcut road, and I said I'm gonna go this way. Ooh, that was a bad mistake, dude. I had mud clots on the hood, up on top of the truck. The boys that were with me, he's like, don't get off of it, don't get off of it, stay on it, because we're gonna get stuck. I'm like, that's a Chevy, man. We ain't getting stuck.
Famous last words.
I didn't get stuck.
It's early in the season.
True that.
Let's see. So that's all my stuff, pretty much. I mean, we'll probably run across other things. I had a accident on the way to church. I was telling Doug before the show. Uh, a girl pulled out in front of me, and so I slowed down, and then she put her flashers on and started off to the right side of the road, and started pulling off of the road onto the grass to the right of the road. And she's going like 2 miles an hour. So I turned my signal on to go around and to head on to church because I had to get there for church security. All of a sudden, she guns it, cuts straight across in front of me, and I lock up my brakes. I didn't had the turbo spooled up on that diesel. I was I was making some time up, and then I had to come to a complete stop before I hit her, and I slid all the way up and go dink and hit the little reflector on her bumper and cracked it. And some of the paint from her bumper imprinted on my truck's bumper. And I mean, it didn't even rock her car. It's how slight the tap was. And so I back off. She's like, I'm not gonna turn in. If you don't want to turn in, I don't want to turn in. I said, well, if your husband changes his mind, Here's my number. Text me, let me know. I'll send you the insurance information. And she texts back later, no, don't worry about it. My husband said it was fine. And Merry Christmas. And so that was the end of that. But boy, it was scary there for a second because I mean, I had to lock up and try to my best to stop that 12,000 pounds of steel from
You gonna
smash.
miss her. What kind of car was it?
It was a little, like a 2000 Chevy Malibu.
Oh, you'd have crushed that thing.
Yeah, it would have been a tin can with the elephant. And I luckily just had the new tires put on and fresh brakes done. If I hadn't have, I would have surely destroyed that car. But God was holding that thing back because I mean, I don't see it stop that fast. I really don't because I done spooled up the turbo and it was going, and then she cuts right in front of me. No signal, no nothing. I had the video camera. I keep a dash cam on all the time because of all the stupidity that I see. And if I ever have a wreck, I want evidence of it. And so I have evidence of it. I got the whole thing on video of her cutting right across in front of me after she'd started off the right side of the road. So it was uh it was one of those things that takes a couple of years off of your life, I think. I thought for sure I was going to smear that little car over the road.
Oh
So
yeah, ain't never
EDC
no
check?
fun.
No. EDC check, 30S, usual suspect. I got a Glock 26 in the pocket for a backup gun and all the usual accoutrements.
So,
Are
so have you totally dissed your 19 now?
No, I mean it's in the safe. Um, I'm going to be gifting those 19s. I got a couple of 19s. I've got I don't know how many 19s. I got a couple of 19s, and I've got like 3 kits to build some more 19s. Of those Poly 80s.
You need my address?
No, I have children of
You
my
got
own.
it, huh?
I've got children of my own.
Yeah, you need one
You're the
more.
older guy. You should be, handing stuff down to me.
I'm. My parents are gone, man. I'm orphaned, so
You can have my parents.
I'm, mm,
You're closer to Florida.
that's true. That's true. I go visit them.
I'm joking. Oh, so that was that, and you got you're carrying your oh
I
your
have I have my Glock 19, and also today I have the Taurus. If you're just joining us,
yeah.
the Public Defender Polly. It's I can't wait to shoot it. I almost shot it tonight when I got home, but it already got dark, and I was like, well, that's not going to make a very good video in the dark. But I'm sure. Was
I got
that
my
your Coke cannon?
cannon. It's a little dusty. Needs to be cleaned up. Shoot the point.
That thing is beastly looking, dude.
Yeah. It'll nail you with a 12 with a 12 each with a big old can of Coke. Tennis ball, something like that.
It won't be long. They'll be outlawing those too.
I hope not.
You could strike somebody and hurt them bad with a can.
Especially if it's got thermite in it. Oh, did I say that, Lynn?
I know, right?
All right. Jokes. Comedy corner. Lame jokes. We promise people lame jokes.
Well, we got a couple today. One of them. I'm gonna read it last. Our buddy Andrew sent it to me, so I figured I'd go ahead and put it on there. It was pretty funny. So
You
I
can
went
cut
with
out the border.
I went with the Christmas theme tonight. So the first one, the first one says something fast. A woman shortly before Christmas told her husband that she would like something to be able to go from 0 to 100 in more or less than 4 seconds. So he goes out. It goes without saying that she wanted a new car. The husband was a bit of a cheapskate, so for Christmas, the woman received a set of scales.
Ha 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 ha.
0 to 100, man. The the train set. Uh, Mason says to his mother, "You can delete the train set from my Christmas wish list." Mom says, "Why is that?" Mason says, "Yesterday I found one in the closet."
I lost a present that way one time. When I was a kid, I found my present in the guest bedroom closet because I was in there looking for light bulbs because she sent me in there looking for light bulbs. And I said, "Hey, what's this doing here?" She just, "You lost your present." I'm
Get
like,
out of there.
"You sent me in there to get light bulbs. It's not my fault."
It's, it's not my fault. And this is the one from Andrew. So, Andrew, here you go. I bought my dad a refrigerator for Christmas. I want to see his face light up when he opens the door.
Bum.
There you go.
Rim shot. Andrew, our friend from down south, he is the son of some missionaries,
Hmm.
and his brother Philip is up in was it
Naval Academy,
up northeast?
Annapolis.
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
is it Maryland? Rhode Island, Newport, Rhode Island's where he's at. He's at a school preparing him for where's he going? Annapolis Naval Academy or something?
He's going to, yeah, he's going to Marine Corps.
Yeah,
I saw
but
pictures he posted the other day, man. I feel so bad for him because he was at the Army Navy game and, Army won. So he wasn't too tore up about it, but it was funny. He was posing. He was in his uniform and stuff at the game.
I saw I saw a Navy SEAL's mom. I think it was post uh, a meme, and it's a picture of a baby elephant, and it says, it said, the baby elephant is the largest baby in the entire planet, weighing in at whatever it was like weighing in at like 400 pounds at birth. But we've recently found something even more of a baby than this baby elephant, and that's a army army football fan. It's like go Navy.
Go Navy.
It was a lot funnier than what I just said, but it was a picture of his baby elephant, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, "Oh, it's talking about baby elephant," and all of a sudden it says, "The only thing bigger than this baby elephant is a uh, army football fan or something." All right, so that's got our jokes out of the way. We have any feedback?
It did. We didn't. I didn't have any today.
I didn't look at iTunes.
I looked. I didn't see anything today.
I blew up Twitter today on my personal account.
Did you?
Yeah, my phone's still dinging over there, so I've really royally made some people on the left mad, I guess. I made
Good.
some people on the right happy. I don't know, but it's been flashing like for last 4 hours, 5 hours constantly. So I'm being retweeted a lot on something. Oh,
I don't even get on there for that.
I just read this thing and I just said something snarky and it seemed to take a life of its own. Hopefully I'll be banned soon. All right, Bible verse for this week.
You'll be in Twitter jail.
I'll be I'm a Twitter prison. Uh, the Bible verse this week comes from John 1, and I'm going to read 18 verses. Can you believe that? I hope we don't lose all our listeners in 18 verses.
That's a
So, in the
bunch.
beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and He was in the beginning with God, and all things were made through Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John, and he came as a witness to bear witness about the light, that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but he came to bear witness about the light. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. Yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God, who was born not of blood, nor the will of the flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we have seen his glory, glory as the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness about him and cried out, "This is whom I said, He comes after me, ranks before me, because he was before me. For his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth through Jesus Christ. No one has seen God, the only God, who is at the Father's side. He has made him known." John 1 1 through 18. So as we come into this Christmas season, we remember Jesus as he is, not as the baby Jesus, but as being there before the earth was formed, being the one who formed the earth, being the one who brought all things into existence by his speech. He was with God before all of us, and he will be with God all the way to the end in part of the Holy Trinity. And so it's just this we need to really remember the reason for Christmas. We need to remind people it's not about Christmas trees, it's not about Santa Claus, it's not about gifts other than the gift of God to us. And that is of salvation, that is of grace, that is of love, and that is of sacrifice, that we would have a relationship with Him only by His sacrifice of His only Son. And that was what I wanted to talk about tonight. Anything you want to add, Doug?
No, it's I'm glad you was talking about, it's not about all the presents and all that stuff. That's not what Christmas is about. It's um, to me, it's about spreading good cheer and doing things for other people. Um, you talk about Santa Claus. I get to actually go do something that this will be my 15th year
Wow.
that I've got to do it. I go down to it's a school slash workshop kind of thing for mentally challenged. Um, it's called Happy Hour, and I've played Santa Claus. This will be my 15th year I've went down and done this. And I tell you what, if it doesn't put you in the Christmas spirit to go down there, because these, me and you've talked about it before,
Mhm.
they get one present and that's it. And they are so happy with whatever they get. And they're just happy that somebody's there, with them. And it always kills me. They always have shirts on that's got a picture of Santa Claus on it that says, "I believe." And it is so cool, man. It just puts you in that Christmas spirit of giving and helping others. It's not about what people give you or anything like that. It ain't nothing like that. It's just watching their face light up. It's just, I don't know, it puts you in the spirit.
Good deal.
So I get to
Oh,
go do that tomorrow.
cool. You have
I
to
won't be.
post
I won't
pictures
be.
up on social media.
Yeah, and I make a pretty convincing Santa Claus too. I'm going to tell you.
Get more of these images every year, Doug.
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You gotta pull it off this year. So one of the other things that popped up about this verse, I had a discussion with someone this week, and I'm trying to remember the context, but he was talking about how he was trying to witness, and people were telling him, "Oh, it was William. William is a guy from Ghana, Africa. My mom went on a mission trip. Oh, went on lots of mission trips. She still would if her health was good, but she went on a mission trip to Ghana, Africa. I don't know, probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and had met a boy named William who was a Christian. Was introduced to her by a pastor there, and he's wanting to come to the United States to play basketball because he was like already like 6 foot, 6'4", 6'5" when he was like 14 or 15, and she said, well, she'd try to help him get connected with someone here if she could, and get him over here. Long story short, she wasn't able to get him right away, but he was able to get a scholarship first to the Philippines. He couldn't get a U.S. visa. He got a scholarship to the Philippines for like high school, and
Mhm.
then he got a scholarship from there to Oklahoma State, and so he plays basketball for Oklahoma State now. And he came in to visit my parents this week for Christmas because, of course, he couldn't go back home to Ghana, but he came to visit with them, and so he's here till Thursday. But he was telling me about his testimony he was giving, and how what he usually hears is that people are always saying, "Well, when I get myself straightened out, when I get good enough, I'll go to church." And I said, "Well, the whole thing is that we're never good enough." And he says, "Yeah, you're right. He said, we're never good enough. The only reason that have salvation is because God is good enough. It's not because of anything that we have done, anything we could do. We couldn't do anything. It all depends on God. We cannot save ourselves. We cannot be good enough. We cannot clean ourselves up enough to be acceptable by God. The only way we're acceptable by God is accepting His Son, Jesus, as Lord and Savior, believing He is the Son of God, and that His sacrifice is the only acceptable uh, gift, only acceptable um, uh, ticket to salvation, because His blood has to cover us. Sin requires a blood sacrifice, and then our blood's not good enough. And no sheep's good enough, and no lamb's good enough. The only lamb is Jesus Himself, is the only one acceptable to God to be able to forgive sin, because He conquered sin and death. And because of that, if we believe and trust in Him alone, then that atonement is put on us, and our sins are covered by Jesus. And so it doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter how bad you think you are. Uh, Repent, turn away from your sin, accept the gift of salvation, a free gift. You can't get good enough on your own to come to Jesus. Accept Jesus where you're at in your sin, because He died for you while you were in your sin. And that's the only way, guys. That's the only way. Turn, repent, and start living for Jesus. Let Him be the Lord and the Savior of your life. So
That's it.
that was the wrap up of the verses for tonight. John 1 1 through 18. He is the gift from God to reunite us with God so we can have a relationship with God. And so, anything else?
That's it.
Christmas is past.
Christmas
What
past.
which Christmases do you remember, and what was the most important thing? I know there were some specific times that you mentioned in previous episodes about your favorite memories of Christmases growing up. So what Doug sticks out in your mind is like number one, two, and three?
Ooh, man. Um, probably number one is the year my mom and dad broke down and bought me and my brother BB guns, which was probably a mistake because we stayed out in the barn. Well, it was probably a good thing for her because we stayed outside in the barn, um, shooting out the back. We had us a range set up with Coke cans and um, everything Mom was cooking for dinner for Christmas. You know, we took all every time she'd empty a can, we'd grab it and take it and put it on the range somewhere. And we wore them BB guns out,
Mm.
man. I'll never forget that. I saw a picture the other day. I was looking through some old photos and stuff, and I saw a picture of me and John standing in front of the Christmas tree, like Elmer Fudd's with our new BB guns. And I'd wanted one forever, but you'll put your eye out. Mom finally broke down and let us get one, so it was fun. That's probably my I probably remember that Christmas more than any of them.
Let's
It
see.
was a trip.
All right, I'll share one of mine, and then we'll go to the next one. I can remember when I was 7 years old, and my grandfather on my mom's side always was wanting to get me a gun, and he'd gotten me he got me a shotgun. I guess it was him and my dad went together and got me a 410 shotgun. And it was a Kmart break open shotgun. It was actually made, or it was branded Kmart shotgun. And I remember going out hunting with him and my uncle and my grandfather. and I always got to shoot the setting rabbits with a 22. They always had
Hmm.
22 single shot. If we got one, the dogs didn't flush up, I would get to shoot the setting rabbits. And then if they flushed out, then you shoot them with a shotgun. And I can remember going out that year, and it was cold. It was snowing, and I always had to flush them. We didn't have a very good dog. Our dog would run them if she wanted to, and if she didn't want to, she'd just run around in circles and bark. But we had a beagle that would go in and most of the time go in and flush them out. And I can remember walking out there and just cold as could be. My feet were wet from walking through that snow. And I remember walking through. They'd send me into the briar thicket, and they'd bought me those hunting clothes that the briars wouldn't stick to. I forget what they were called, but they were they were um, they had some kind of material on the front of them, and the briars really didn't stick to you. They would stick to your neck, and they'd stick to your toboggan and everything else, but they would stick to that. I remember going through there with that 410, trying to keep my finger off the trigger. Of course, I couldn't cock the hammer until I was ready to take a shot. It was one of those old hammer ones, and
Oh
I
yeah.
remember going through kicking rabbits out of brush piles and out of from down trees and fence lines and stuff like that. And they would flush out. And by the time I got my gun up and the hammer cocked back, my uncle done blown them away. So I remember he'd shot at one, and it turned and it ran back into the thicket where I was at. And I cocked my hammer back. And I saw it coming running back down the trail, and I shot about 8 feet over the top of it. My one shot was gone. I emptied the shell, put another shell in, and it darted back out. I can remember chasing those rabbits around that thicket down there in Linwood. We ended up, I think we killed about 6 rabbits, and and got them back to the house. We flushed out a couple of quail too, but couldn't hit those with the 410. His full 410 full choke. It's like shooting a rifle.
Oh yeah.
You didn't have no pattern. Uh,
You remember them beagles that me and my brother used to have?
uh,
Bo and Luke Duke beagles, and we go anytime we want to go rabbit hunting. You had to tie them up the day before because if not, they just be out in the yard laying, you know, and look at each other and like, yeah, it's time to go, and they be gone.
yeah,
They take off and go hunting themselves. They didn't wait on you.
yeah,
So if you actually wanted to use them for rabbit hunting, you had to make sure you had them tied up so they couldn't get away and go because they'd go run all night long. And then they wouldn't be worth nothing the next morning.
yeah.
But shoot, I can remember that every Christmas, man. After you do the family presents and all that good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather would come over and me and him and Dad and John and we'd all suit up, man, go chase bunnies around all
Mm-hmm.
over half LaRue County. And I don't know, it was always fun. Yeah, anytime we got to go hunt with Dad, it was always fun.
Yeah. I remember another year. I guess it was when I was 8. We'd went hunting up here in LaRue County, my granddad's house up here, and we went. We shot probably 10 or 11 rabbits, and we shot like 4 quail. And my dad was cleaning the quail, and my uncle was no, my dad was cleaning the rabbits. My uncle was cleaning the quail, and we were back at the house. It was like that morning after we'd opened the presents up, and then we went out and hunted, and then we came back and was getting ready to have dinner, but we wanted to clean those rabbits before we started lunch. And Dad had had slit that rabbit, and he'd grab it, and he would sling the guts out of him. Sling it like
Oh
well,
yeah.
flung the guts, and he looked down the ground. There wasn't no guts there, and he heard all of a sudden, my uncle was in the middle of talking. Those guts went up and flew in his mouth.
Oh, ooh.
He started spitting that. I remember laughing about that. Oh, he'd sling them guts out, and they hung up on something, and they went up and hit him in the mouth behind him.
Nice.
I can remember that look on his face. It was awful. What else you got? You got another story?
Oh, you know me, I got stories all over the place. Let's see. Christmas time. I can always remember my grandmother and my uncle. Um, for years and years, I never understood it, but it's almost like an ugly sweater kind of a thing. They had this. They got this little owl pin that was like this big, and one of them got it for Christmas one year, and that thing became a tradition to pass around to everybody in the family. I don't even know why, but I can remember them watching them. I'm a kid. I'm getting a kick out of opening my stuff.
Uh,
But then, looking back on it today, I've never seen adults have so much fun opening an ugly present as they did, because they would wind up sticking it on different stuff and pass it back and forth. And every year it was a big thing to see, who could outdo the other one with that little owl pin. And but I can remember my uncle, um, Uncle Cecil. You remember my Uncle Cecil?
uh-huh.
And it was him and my grandmother that got into this thing back and forth. I don't know, how I don't even know how it got started. I was so young. We still lived in Buffalo at the time, um, down there behind the station, kind of on that little circle. And that's when it originated. And they did that for years and years. And I can just remember them laughing so hard every time they would open that silly present every year. But I never did get it. I never did understand why it was so much fun. They never did explain that to us when we were kids, but it was it was fun watching them do it though.
Yeah. I think my best Christmas I can remember as a kid was I was what was that? I guess I was probably about 9, 8 or 9, and I'd been my granddad had a nylon 66, Remington nylon 66. He had the black one with the tube fed uh, buttstock. So you put the bullets in the back of the buttstock, and I loved that gun. I wanted to shoot it all the time. I remember wanting to get one, and you know, uh, I'd asked and asked for it, and then went through all the Christmas presents and nothing. And I was sort of sitting there all sad, thinking, I got some Matchbox cars, and I got Evil Knievel with a little crank thing. You
Oh, I had
spun
one of
up to
those.
speed. He took off across the floor, riding a wheelie.
Oh
And
yeah.
I got, I forget what else. There was a couple other things. And I always got an old Henry knife, um, um, for my grandfather, a 3 blade knife, or a buck knife, one or the other. For my one grandfather gave me buck knives, the other one gave me the little old Henry knives.
Hmm.
And I've still got a bag of those that I've never used. I would get them every year, and I would put them in my drawer. And then when I moved off to college, I put them all in my dad's drawer. Uh, I didn't take them with me. And then they're still my safe today. I bet I've got 15, 20 knives, brand new, still in the boxes that my grandfathers had given me. I would always use one until I wore it out, and then I'll get another one out. And but I've still got probably 15 of those knives. I've given a few to my kids and stuff over the years. But I can remember he said, "Oh, I forgot one other thing." He went back in the closet and come out with a box, and there was that nylon 66, that little brown. It was a brown one with a little white uh, diamond on it.
Hmm.
And it was a magazine fed one, and I love that gun. I shot the rifle inside that gun. I don't know how many thousands of rounds I put through that thing, but to this day, I can pick that rifle up and I can still knock a bird out of the air with it, because I shot so many rounds with it. And it's so light and easy to carry. I don't know how many hundreds of dozens of groundhogs I've killed, and black those sparrows. I don't know how many uh, vermin I've destroyed over the years with them. But that was the gun I remember wanting more than anything else ever in my life, and just I wore it out. It's I loaned it to a person, and they didn't take care of it, and it got all rusted up, and I took it apart and sanded it down and re-oiled it and everything. It didn't look very good anymore, but it still shoots really good, even though I don't think there's any riflings left in it. But uh, I remember the feeling of that morning to this day, uh, how good that felt. And so my wife's like, "Why you always want to give kids guns?" Because I always always wanted guns when I was a kid.
Of course. Who don't
Uh,
want guns?
I think,
Matthew Smith over on our YouTube side said, one Christmas my sister and I got a go kart. He said, "You can't keep me off of it."
Yeah, my dad and I built a go kart. That was the experience.
I never had a go kart. Never had nothing like that. I got a 10 speed, and we got to ride everywhere we wanted to go.
Yeah, he had. My dad is an engineer. Was an engineer, and so if we did anything, usually we built it or he showed me how to make it or whatever. And so he welded up a frame and put a Briggs and Stratton. I think it was a 9 horsepower motor. It was a big motor, and that thing would fly, but it didn't have any brakes, so you had to slow it down by driving around in circles till you slow.
Well, man, since he knows how to build that kind of stuff, you need to talk him into building me a surface drive motor for my boat.
Oh, what? Oh, you can buy them cheaper than you can build them. I can tell you that.
I don't know about that.
I saw
They're they're
I sent you a
proud of
link to one they were selling out here. They're selling up here not too long ago. It
you get a
was
new one, man. They're $8 or $9,000 or more.
well, I don't know what that
And like I said, all it is a Briggs and Stratton motor with a
long prop,
muffler on
blade.
it, and the belt runs down to a prop. You
Yeah.
know, when my girls were little, it's always tough having triplets. Because they want the same things most of the time. They want the same things.
Mhm.
But when they were little, we used to get them the exact same stuff. So they'd have presents on the tree. And I remember one year, man, we let them pick their present they wanted to open first. So they all pulled a present out, and Tiffany and Taylor pulled out these little. They wanted these little 110 cameras that had Barbie on them
Mhm.
or something. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was a little camera. Well,
Kodak.
they pulled the cameras out.
Yeah.
Tara picked something else out, and she was opening. So the two opened up their presents and saw that they had the little cameras that they wanted, and they were just so happy. Well, Tara opens up like, I don't know, a sweater or something. Something was not one of her good presents. She just chose poorly. Man, she just broke down, and started bawling, crying.
Meltdown.
Oh, meltdown right there on Christmas Day. I'm like, baby, it's all right. I said, you got other stuff. Maybe you'll get one too. I don't want it now. They got it. I was like, oh Lord, the drama of they couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old, but she bawled her eyes out because she didn't think she got her little Barbie camera too.
Mm.
And then when she finally opened it, she was happy.
Why did you put me through all this turmoil?
I know. I was like, I told Wendy, I said I should have just been passing the presents out and made sure they all got to open the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Now I did get them one year. This is when they were older. They were sneaky, and they do what teenage girls do. My wife and I had got them new cell phones for
Oh.
Christmas. So I had them in boxes. I had them wrapped up. So I come home one day, and I just happened to notice that the boxes had been moved under the tree just a little bit.
Mhm.
So I go over and look, and they had actually cut the tape on the end of it so they could see what kind of cell phones they were going to get. I'm like, oh, okay. So they did something that afternoon, and I told them, I said, you know what? Give me they had these old cell phones. I said, you're grounded. I'm taking your cell phones. You're not going to
Mhm.
have them no more. Dad. I'm like, nope, fess them up. So they went to bed. Well, I unwrapped all those presents that had the new cell phones in them,
Uh-huh.
and I took their new cell phone out and I put their old cell phone back in the box. So the next day or day after one is Christmas. So I said, I'm going to let you open these presents. And I said, y'all, can you start using them? And they were so happy because they thought it was new cell phones that they were getting. So they're unwrapping it. And they got the box. They're like, oh, yes. I said, okay, you're ungrounded. You can use your phones now. So they started undoing the box, man. They opened them up, and them old flip phones was in there that they had before, that were falling apart. And they're looking at it like, really? I was like, that'll teach you to open your presents before
Uh,
Christmas. Start snooping.
I don't know how you handle it, man. I got 2 daughters, and they're far apart in age. I don't know how you handle 3 girls all at the same time.
We
I
did
think I
we
would look insane.
they're part of the three forms of communication: telephone, telegraph, tell the triplets. So one year we bought my son a TV for his room and the girls a TV for one of their rooms. And I wrapped them up and I put them on at the table. And the girls were like, "What is that? What is that? What is that?" I said, "Look, y'all can't tell." I said, "I'll tell you, but you'll go tell your mama." "Oh, we won't tell, mom. We won't tell. We won't tell." I said, "Well, mom wanted two new end tables and I got them. That's why the boxes are exactly the same. And I got them wrapped up." I said, "It was something your mama wanted." They're like, "Yeah, okay." So it wasn't for them, so they didn't really care. So, when you go to bed that night, I'm like, "Well, hey," I said, "did any of the kids come to you and tell you what was in those boxes?" And she said, "Yeah, all of them. They all came and told me that you bought me end tables, and it was a surprise not to tell you." I was like,
You got something to barter. Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah. You got to be sneaky. Got to be sneaky at Christmas time."
Yeah. Yeah, kids are all telling me, "Oh, this one wants this kid wants this, and that kid wants this," and they're all working together in concert trying to get what they want. Like, okay,
Sure,
I'll
they
tell
are.
Dad that I want if you want this, you tell Mom that I want this, or they'll send you, the link, Amazon link. Hey, hey, it's going off. It's going on. It's on sale. You save like $50 right now if you buy it right. I don't think
Yeah.
this is
Well,
how Christmas is supposed to work, guys.
we draw names now, and it's all about the grandkids since I got a ton of them.
Uh,
Um, it's more about the grandkids having fun. But the adults, the other the girls and stuff, they like to get stuff too. So we draw names to make it a little more interesting. They're not supposed to tell
uh,
whose name they got until Christmas, but they can't. They can't not do it. The three forms of communication: telephone, telegraph, tell one of the girls. And everybody will know. Um, so we draw names. And it's always kind of fun to watch them. They get a big message going around on text messaging with everybody. This is one of the things I would like to have. This is what I would like to have, which makes it easy because if you put it on your wish list and I drew your name, then rock on. I kind of know what you want, and I'll go get it and be done with it.
cool. Well, we have any other listeners out there have a story they want to share?
Uh, Not at the moment. Just Matthew was the only one so far.
Nobody else wants to share.
But my friend, my other friend Matthew, that lives here in Warner Robins, said, "Excuse me, man, I got this Arkansas crud." Yeah,
We
but
call it the chemtrail lung,
is that what it is?
pretty much.
So Matthew said when next time you're in town, he would love to get you and I together and grill some steaks,
Oh, that sounds like fun.
so he could sit and talk with both of us. So I told him, "Hey, we're down for that."
First week of January, I'm taking them back to Florida, I think.
First week of January, I'll be in Arkansas. When you coming back?
Depends. I haven't even looked at a calendar.
So then,
Let's see. They're wanting to go down. I think they want to go down like the third of January. When you going and back?
I'll be back 7th.
Yeah, I might be coming back then. Depends on how long it takes me to get down there and how long it takes me to get them unpacked and set up and stocked up. So
We'll figure
we'll see.
something out.
Yeah, and maybe a few days before, a few days after. We'll see. May take one or two of my kids as co-pilots or extra drivers. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. All right, so that's going to do our Christmas time together. There was a lot of great Christmases. Those are the more of the ones I remember. Just going out and hunting and freezing to death and
Oh yeah,
frostbite uh, and shooting all kinds of rabbits and stuff like that. That was good times.
we were always shooting stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I got a picture of me when I was like 3 out in the backyard of my grandparents' house, the one across the street, and shooting targets with my granddad's 1901 Remington 22 little bolt action. I've got that gun today. I inherited that one. Means that means a lot to me having that gun that I started shooting when I was 2 or 3 years old,
Hmm.
and it was like that Remington 66. I can remember my grandfather on my other side had the same identical gun, and I remember going out and he would throw up cans in there and shoot them out of the air with that little bolt action 22. From young age, he would take me out and shoot with me all afternoon long, invest in me. A lot of time.
My mom eventually banned the BB guns around the house. We could only shoot guns because there wasn't a bird in the tree anywhere that would come around our house because me and John would waylay them. As soon as you got a new target. So
Uh-huh.
she's like, "All right, y'all got to quit shooting the birds." Like, okay,
Bird feeders never get emptied.
nope.
Yeah, I used to harass the squirrels. I would sit out and you remember our house here in Magnolia,
Hmm.
all those big oak trees all the way around it. Man, it was a target rich environment with all those squirrels running around. And I used to run those fox squirrels right off the limbs. Shoot the limb behind them and walk them all the way out the plank.
you
They
know,
jump off onto another tree limb somewhere.
we would. Dad told us we were not allowed to shoot the Baney roosters, and so for the most part, well, we didn't for a while. But they get too close. It's like you want to take a pop shot. It's like, oh, watch this BB gun shot. You see them jump in the air for a second, and then they
Fall over.
scatter. Well, Dad cleaned chickens one time. We went in there and he waylaid the Baney roosters because we had so many of them, and he's plucking chickens and stuff, and starts cleaning. They got BB holes on them, with little BB stuck in them, and he's like, "I thought I told you, boys." I'm like, "John did
I would believe that.
it." He probably did, but I cannot tell a lie. I probably popped a couple in my time too.
Yeah. I remember 4th of July, my grandfather was throwing firecrackers out in the yard, and he had tons of little baby roosters around. I remember one of them running up and grabbing that firecracker and sticking it halfway down its gullet before it popped. We had chicken for dinner the next day.
I was gonna say, did it blow his little crown off?
It blew your beaks off. He
I
didn't have
bet.
no beaks left, and then his head was sort of laying to the side.
Uh,
So he chopped off the fending parts and then hang for supper. Or hang for one of the meals right after that. You don't always jump on whenever you see moving. Oh, Zeke Stout's Master of Arms show. Don't forget Friday nights right after Gold Rush on Discovery Channel.
I've been watching it on multiple TVs, and then I DVR it, and then I go back and watch it the next morning
You got all your children watching it.
again. I have got most of them watching it, but actually for Zeke, um, down in Arkansas this past week, I had it on in the room,
Yeah.
and one of the guys like, "You ever watch this show?" I like, "Yeah, I've seen it since it came on. I watched it." He's like, "That's pretty interesting, ain't it?" I said, "Yeah." I said the big guy in the middle is a friend of mine, Troy's, and they're like, "You know him?" I'm like, "We do." I said, "We knew him before he made it big and his head all swelled up like that."
We knew he was a little filler.
He's just a little fella. He was the same size as that little girl that's on the show with him, when he first started. But
Yeah.
I actually saw her on the outdoor channel in Arkansas the other day when I was down there. There was a show about antique firearms and stuff that was on.
Uh-huh.
She runs a museum.
Cody Museum.
Wherever she's at.
Mhm.
But but she was on there talking about all these antique firearms and stuff. I thought it was actually pretty cool. After watching her on the show with Zeke and them, and then seeing her do that show, it was
Yeah.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
She
Small
knows what
world.
she knows what she's talking about. I give her credit for that.
Yep. Small girl, small world.
They just let Zeke don't know that much. He just likes to chop and hack on stuff on the show.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He's a funny guy. He's a
They're
funny
like
guy.
that. One of the episodes here a while back, they're like the guys they made. I can't remember if it was a sword or or what it was. But he's like, as soon as Zeke grabbed a hold of the sword that I made and started to hit something, I'm like, he's a big dude. He said, I thought he was going to bend it, but it held tight. I was like,
Zeke's lost a bunch of weight, boy. He looks a lot thinner than he did when they recorded that show.
yeah, he does.
He's
But it is a good show, man. I like it. I like
pretty
watching it.
good. Yeah, it's funny just to see. I know knowing him is just this, what we talked about on last week's show. Uh, I just don't see him being as mean and tough as he acts like he is on the show. Like, you're putting
Please
on a
take your
show,
weapon
aren't
and
you?
leave the armory with honor.
All right. Well, I think let's see. We're gonna wrap that part up. We're gonna move on to how you can help out the show. Patreon. We had a lot of people say, "Hey, we want to help out the show," and so we started a Patreon account. So if you want to give to help out as well, patreon.com/God and Guns. And we appreciate it. We've got top contributor Tim Kim and our gold sponsor Steve Stone. He's on there. I saw Steve on there. I think I saw Tim on there earlier. Shannon Copeland, Chuck Shettle, and Michael Sheldon. And silver is Michael Eisland, Nick Kostick, and Michael Pelletier. I think I pronounced it right, Michael. I'm sorry if I didn't. Patches stickers. We still got patches and stickers. If you want to buy some for your family members, we'll try to get them out as quick as can. I don't know if they'll make it by Christmas now, but they're out there, and we would appreciate the purchase. If you would like to also help us out, you can join the NRA. I know they're really on the bad side of everybody right now because they're going along with this bump stock ban, which is stupid. But outside of that, maybe maybe they'll defend us on this other stuff, on all the other stuff they want to try to ban. So join the NRA. Use our link, our website, or on our show notes on our website. You'll find it there. Devore, DVOR. I bought. I got down to my last two pairs of nice pants. And I'm like, these things aren't going to last much longer, and they're like two sizes too big. So I ordered some more pants, Devore, some proper pants, and that's the brand name. And ordered some more shirts because all my zipper shirts are about worn out. I've been wearing them like 4 years. They're all starting to wear out. So I just restocked over the Devore. If you don't know what Devore is, Devore is a clearance house for optics plant, like the hat Doug's wearing there.
Like the hat I got on today,
Yeah.
Optic Planet.
So optics plant has got like everything under the sun as far as cool stuff, and just go to Devore, DVR, use our link, sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you buy something, they send us some love. Laser activated shot reporter. The coupon code now applies to everything in their store. So GAND gets you a 10% discount on anything at the laser activated shot reporter, like LASRAPP.com. Hoplite armor. If you need body armor, everybody needs body armor. I'm saving up for some body armor. Uh, talk to everybody, Lyman Bishop. Well, you don't have to talk to Lyman, but you go to his website at Hoplite Armor. The link to the site using our affiliate link is our notes and our webpage. Zija, I use Zija to help keep me moving. It helps with inflammation for me. It helps with pain management. It helps with um, uh, blood sugar. It helps with all kinds of things. If you want to hear my testimony, go to godandguns.myzija.com and find out more about it. You're up, Doug.
Crossbreed holsters. You've heard us say it before. Troy and I both carrying a Super Tuck Deluxe that we love. I just made a trip to Arkansas the whole time. There it is. Troy's showing it right now.
Right here.
But I wore mine all the way to Arkansas. I wore it while I was out there. I was actually even showing it around to some of the guys because I took it off, and there was the guys that were out there hunting with us are like, "Hey, what kind of holster is that?" I'm like, "Hey, let me introduce you to a crossbreed. They just work and they're comfortable, and I need one for a judge, so
Look at that.
it
Let me
does not
wind.
fall out.
Does not fall out.
It does not."
Form.
And they're comfortable, man. I wore it in the truck the whole way out there, all the way back, zero problems, and they just work. Um, but they have a holster for just about any gun that you can imagine. I think they even make them for, should I say it, high points.
If they make it for the judge, I know they make it for that point.
You know they do, but they're just awesome holsters. Go check them out. They got a holster that'll fit the need that you have. I guarantee it. If not, let us know and we'll talk to them and see if we can't get you one made.
Be careful. I don't know
Um,
if I can guarantee it.
huh?
I don't know if I can guarantee it.
What?
The
Did they
high
make
point.
one for it?
You said high point and guarantee the same, 5 minutes between there.
No, so I can just about guarantee it. If they know anybody's got one. But anyway, go out and check them out. Crossbreedholsters.com. Use our promo code GNG and get 10% discount when you check out, just for listening to the show and being a good listener for us. Also, Axelson Tactical. Hey, I saw Jeff and them are launching their new site. I guess they actually went live with it. AxelsonUSA.com. Go check them out. If you're looking for a high-end AR, they make custom pistols, knives. The backpack that I was telling you about before that turns into a gun case
Mhm.
is awesome. Go check our buddies out at Axelson Tactical. You can still get there with AxelsonTactical.com or AxelsonUSA.com. But if you're looking for a high-end rifle, go check them out. It will be well worth the look. Use our promo code when you find one. Use God in Guns and get a 10% discount on whatever you buy through them as well.
Cool deal. All right. So we're in Terrace Alliance Life member. We had some of the representatives of the charities on a couple weeks back, 2-3 weeks back. So if you want to know more about Terrace Alliance and all the different companies that are inside of Terrace Alliance and the charities they support, go to interiorsalliance.com and check it all out. NRA Armed Citizen, Doug, what we got?
I was going to say, you want to read this one tonight? Because I'm having a cough fit and I don't think I'm going to be able to stop.
Sure. Near Chicago, armed citizen helps police officers. When police pulled someone over for a traffic stop, countless things can go wrong. A case that happened near Chicago illustrates just how bad things can get. Cicero police tried to make a traffic stop, but the driver refused to pull off the road, forcing law enforcement officers to call for more cars and bucks the car in at an entrance ramp to Interstate 55. Mowers then got out of the car and then started shooting, firing off multiple rounds and hitting one officer 4 times. Other officers took over, the suspect fled on foot, shooting wildly at the officers, giving chase. Thankfully, for all the law enforcement officers involved, an armed citizen was near at hand and started firing in defense of the police. That gave the law team time to fire two. One bullet hit the suspect though it is unclear whether the round came from the armed citizen or police. We were lucky enough to have a citizen on the street who is a concealed carry holder, and he engaged in gunfire with the offender, who was struck one time. Cicero Police Superintendent Jerry Laudad told reporters at a press briefing, because the armed citizen who has not been identified helped end the situation quickly. The injured officer, Louis Darte, received prompt medical treatment and has been listed in good condition after surgery. The motorist that the the motorist that police were checking also survived and is listed in serious condition. So, good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun.
Good guy with a gun.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. You got anything else, Doug?
I'm good, man.
How about our viewers over here on the side? You guys have anything else? Random thoughts on DOJ finalizing bump stock ban into the week? GOA already has filed lawsuit lined up. Tim, I read that. I heard that they were moving forward on banning a stock, calling it some kind of a firearm. It is stupid, as usual, with gun control laws. Gun control is not to control guns, it's to control people. And anything that might equalize us with the state, they tend to want to ban it, like machine guns or suppressors or rifles over 50 caliber. You have to have special licenses, permits, and taxes paid to the state to have your rights. Uh, any any kind of restriction on guns, weapons is prohibited in the Second Amendment, and the only rights you have are the ones you're willing to fight for. And so, if you think this is stupid, please let your senators and representatives and governors know that this is encroachment upon your rights and you don't appreciate it. They may go ahead and do it anyway, which they probably will, but we have to express as we're called to with our legal First Amendment right that we are wanting this to stop. I am a Gun Owners of America lifetime member, as well as being an NRA lifetime member, as well as being, what's the other one? Oath Keepers lifetime member, and
Interiors
uh,
Alliance.
in I'm a NRA lifetime member. Support support the groups that are trying to defend your rights. Okay, so Second Amendment Foundation, I'm also a life member there. So I, I put money where my mouth is. I tried to defend, and I also write letters, and I also tag senators and presidents and everything on all my social media comments about you need to leave our rights alone, guys. You know, if we were just as half as mad as the guys in France are right now, we would get our rights back pretty quick. I don't know why it is that we just are so. I don't know if we're being controlled and our speech is being suppressed. Uh, I feel that way. I feel that everybody I know and most people that um, I see following me on social media are all in agreement with me for the most part, except for the trolls. Um, and I just don't see um, the support for the defense, the support for the argument that they bring to the table. I just don't see the logic. And so, anytime you hear gun control, it's to control people. It's not to control guns, and it's racist because it's always put in areas where there's minority, a larger group of minorities at. Uh, all gun control laws originated in the South amongst whites trying to keep blacks from getting guns, and then it moved into the inner cities with those same Democrats trying to control behavior with law. You don't control behavior with law. It doesn't happen. Law is a penalty for the breaking the behavior, but you can't make people be good by making more laws. You can't make bad people be good by making good people bad. That's my thing. And you take away the rights of the people that are actually good to try to punish the people who are already breaking the laws that are already on the books. you, you're not you're not doing that because it works. You're doing it because you're taking more and more freedom away from someone because there are people who will break the law, and that's not constitutional. That's why we have a constitution, that we can't have our rights removed from us without due process. And if we've not committed a crime, then there's no reason for them to take our rights away. So that's my thing on that, Tim. And I encourage all of you to voice your opinions, but do it politely.
That's
I've
right.
had a rash of people the last day or two cussing up a storm on our website, and I pulled that stuff down because we've got kids that read our stuff. I mean, my kids read our stuff. We don't need that kind of language.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make an argument, if you can't debate a subject without cussing people out, without calling them names, then you don't deserve to be here. Sorry, I'm going to remove you. Not because I'm controlling your speech, but because I don't want vulgarity on this channel. And if
Right.
you guys see it, let me know because I'm not always there. But I've been deleting that stuff. People going around calling people names. That's a sign of ignorance right there. If you cannot be able to debate someone without calling them a name, then you're not welcome here. That's that's immaturity, and that is not called for in the Bible. You're supposed to respect one another. You're supposed to love one another as God loves us. And you're supposed to respect the image of God in that person, whether or not you agree with them. I don't agree with a lot of people. It makes me mad what they say, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
resort to calling them names or cursing them. That's not biblical. That's not in the Bible. You won't find that supported in the Bible. Now you'll find that certain people in the Bible had cursed people, the actual curse, uh, and you know you can be righteously angry, but you're still supposed to, in love, be able to defend yourself. If you can't defend the Bible in love, then you need to read the Bible more. If you can't defend yourself with Scripture, you need to study the Bible more. And in the end times, guys, people are going to be led away from God. They're going to be led away because they don't know enough Scripture to be able to debate what they're seeing, what they're hearing. They're going to believe the false teachings of the Antichrist because they don't know the Scriptures by heart. And if you don't keep putting the Scripture in your body, in your mind, and absorbing it, when there's when the Antichrist comes, you'll be led astray. You if you're subject to being exposed to a cult, you'll be easily led off because they'll say some things that are biblically true, but then they'll twist it and then they'll turn it and then they'll make it something else. So make sure that you know the Bible. I have people all the time professing to be Christians who cuss me. I'm like, where are you finding support for this? And I'll quote the scriptures where you're supposed to, respect the person, love them in their sin. I mean, I love these people. I try to love them like God loves them. I'm not that good, but I'm trying. But we got to make sure that nothing unholy comes out of our mouths, nothing profane comes from our mouths. We're supposed to be a light in the world, not act like the rest of the world. If we act like the rest of the world, what's the difference to them? They're going to see no difference between us if we're always fighting and arguing. Uh, Something I posted this week, I was like, it's a shame what they're doing about tearing these monuments down. In this one that I posted had a cross on it. People are like, oh, that's not true. That's not true. I don't see where it's been, someone said that the governor said that it ain't going to happen, but the governor, I don't know, has the ability to stop something if the court orders it. I think that, it continues on. But, uh, but the point of the matter is that the reason they're trying to destroy the image of the cross, the reason they're trying to tear down monuments is they don't want to be reminded of God, who they feel the judgment of. And we, as Christians, are going to be that image bearer. Even when the crosses are gone, we'll be those image bearers they're wanting to kill and destroy. And they will. I mean, we know in the end times that we will be hated because they hate God, they hate Jesus, they killed Jesus, they'll kill us. It's going to happen. We're going to be martyred. But even if we're martyred, we do it because we love God for what he has done for us. And so, just as he is sacrificed, we will be sacrificed as well. And that doesn't mean you have to lay down and let someone kill you. You fight to the end, right? But you don't, but you're not going to go out and attack people. You're not going to go on offense and start whacking the unbelievers. If someone comes to harm you or your children, defend your lives. But you, in the end times, we will be martyred. We will be uh, rounded up and executed until Jesus decides it's enough and comes back and gets us. So that's what I got to say about it. What about you, Doug? Took coughing?
Nope, I'm with you. I had to mute you there for a second, so because I was.
So I'm off my box. Anything else, Doug?
Nope, I'm good, man.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Send your feedback to Troy at GuyandGunsPodcast.com. Someone sent me a message this week saying they weren't able to get an email through. I'm getting tons of emails through uh, our account. Our Guy and Guns podcast domain has been under attack multiple times. It's been coming out of South America and out of China,
Hmm.
according to the people that run our website. So it goes down, they fix it, they get us back up. So if my emails don't go through, again, let me know on Facebook or on another social media that hey, your stuff's not getting through, and I'll go over and take a look. But I've had to keep changing passwords often on our stuff because it's gotten crazy. There's
Trolls.
multiple hacks a day. and they're telling me how many hacks I get a report like once a week of how many attacks they've had to stop or whatever. So
Hmm.
sorry about that. Tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. We need lots of iTunes reviews. It brings us up in the polls and the ratings and stuff, so we get more promotions. So if you guys wouldn't, if you've not left us one recently, please update your review or give us an iTunes review. Hopefully, a good, nice 5-star one. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Guide Guns Podcast. Subscribe to us and follow us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Guide and Guns Pod. I've got like a Guy and Guns Twitter and I got a personal Twitter, and I keep sometimes posting on the one I shouldn't be. So sometimes the Guy and Guns Pod gets more political than I intended it to be. But those are out there. Instagram, check us out on Instagram and MeWe. We're keeping a presence over there. There's weird stuff going on over there. Every time I look, there's something. There's always something weird over there. It's a backup in case we get booted off the other mainstream social medias, but there it is. GuyGunsPodcast.com is still up and going as of a while ago. And until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. We look forward to talking to you guys later. Matthew, Tim, Steve. I don't know if you're still out there, Steve, but thanks for watching and talking to us. Rick, appreciate it. Gunpowder therapy will cure that, Rick said. All right.
My coffin.
Oh, okay. That's what it was about. Janelle and Big Tanker. Glad you out there, chat. Carl Wallace.
Yep, Carl
Oh,
was
Chad
on with us.
Wallace. Carl Wallace. Huh. Well, thanks for being with us, guys. Any last questions before we go? Hey, Steve, good night. No, Steve's
All
going
right,
to get to
Steve.
bed. He's going to get up early.
Yeah, Steve's an early bird like me.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to shut this thing down. If y'all don't have anything else, we're going to get out of here. Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, and we'll try to get together as quick as we can get back together. You're home until January, right?
No, I leave. I'm leaving the day after Christmas, going back.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try to record early, maybe Christmas Eve or something. If I don't know, it'll be pretty busy then. We'll see when we get back together as soon as possible, guys. Appreciate you guys being patient with us when Doug's got to travel or I have to travel. Good night.
Good night, guys.